Yeah, in the last class we have seen how to work with the. We just started what is a CSS, right? So in the last class we started what is a CSS is. Okay, we started what is CSS, and I said CSS, and I said CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets, and we are seeing CSS acronym. If you see that is cascading, is I said is nothing but is a way of organizing it, right? Okay, cascading is nothing but is a way of organizing or falling of styles. Even that you can call it as which one? Cascading. And style is nothing but adding designs or styling or to which one here? HTML tags. Formatting or styling, okay, designing to the HTML tags. So that you can call it as what here? Styles. Cascading style sheets is nothing but writing user defined styles in different documents. So that you can call it as which one? Sheets, right? Writing user defined styles in different documents, that can be called as a sheet. Now CSS stands for cascading style sheets. I said no, it is a language for describing the presentation of what? Web page. Okay, formatting the web page or styling the web page, like including colors, layout, fonts, which makes your website more presentable to what? End users, right? And CSS is designed to make style sheets for the web, and it is independent of HTML and can be used with any markup language. You can say it is used with any markup language. It is not only HTML, XML, or any markup language you can use. HTML you can use this CSS. The current version of CSS is CSS 3. Current version of CSS is CSS 3. And if you see the small history of CSS, so the foundation of CSS is started in the 1994. So first proposed by this person, Hakon, okay, on 10th October, right? And 1996, CSS was publicly or published on 17th November with influencer of this Bert Bosch. Later he becomes the co-author of which one? CSS. In 1996, CSS become official with the CSS was published in what year? December. But actually it has become official, okay, but was published in what? December in 1996. And in 1997, created CSS level 2. Okay, that is nothing but CSS 2. And then in 1998, okay, published on which one? CSS 2 publicly, right? Which is used by people. But the current version of CSS is a CSS 3. But this is an acronym for CSS. Now cascading is nothing but is a way of organizing or what is that? Falling of styles, that you can call it as cascading. And styling is nothing but adding or formatting, applying, okay, some, what do you call it as? Colors, layouts, fonts, okay, so that your web page is more interactive to what? End user. Then what is the advantage of using CSS? Okay, what is the advantage of using CSS? What is the advantage of using CSS here? So the advantage of using CSS is, see, CSS is a styling language, right? Okay. So what is the advantage of using CSS is, so it is nothing but separating, one is, okay, separating presentation, separating the presentation. Okay, presentation from what here? Formatting. This formatting is nothing but which one? Styles. So HTML is used for presenting. HTML is used for designing the web page. And CSS is used for styling the web page. And you are separating this presentation from what? Formatting. So it means using HTML, you can create a web page. Okay, and you are separating this styling from, or you are separating formatting of the HTML elements. Instead of writing the formatting as a part of HTML elements, you are separating this format from what? HTML elements, and you are creating one style sheet. So that can be used either one time or more than one time. Not only that, it is a faster development of web page. Okay, faster development of web page and maintaining. Okay, so maintaining of web page is easy. So maintaining means, for example, generally you apply a unique format. Generally you apply unique format to multiple pages. Assume that my website is having multiple pages. Lot of pages are there in my web page, website. So all these web pages, assume that I applied one unique background. Okay. All these web pages applied one unique background, right? Background for all these are same. Okay. Suppose if CSS is not there, what do you do it? You try to define the background as a part of which one? Tag or HTML element. You'll say body background, and you define the background of which one? Web page. So that is background. You just write background, and it followed by, I just define one image. And this you try to repeat for how many pages? 4 pages, because I want to write the same background for every page. I want to write the same background for every page. Suppose if any changes in background image, I have to do changes how many times here? 4 times. Assume that my website is having some 100 pages. Then I have to do changes how many times here? 100 times. Then maintaining your website becomes what? Complex, right? To avoid that, you are trying to separate. To avoid that, you are trying to separate this styling. You are trying to separate this style, or you are trying to separate this format from web page, or you are separating this format from a tag, and you are writing in another file. And what is that file here? CSS file. You try to define the background of the web page in which file here? CSS file. And this CSS you apply to what? Body of every page. This CSS you apply the body of every page, so that if any changes are done in the background, you do the changes in which file? CSS file, and that will be applicable to how many pages? All the pages, right? So maintaining becomes what here? Easy. Not only that, faster web development. Suppose when you're developing a page, you want to apply the same style to multiple elements. Within the page, you want to apply the same style to multiple elements. Stop writing the same style again and again. Okay, you create style once and use how many times here? Number of times. So that you can call it as faster development of web page. And not only that, you can easily understand now by separating the presentation and what? Formatting. Means now HTML elements are used only for formatting, and styles are used only for HTML elements are used only for presentation and styles are used only for format. So you are separating this both so that understanding your web page code also becomes what easy, right? Rather than combining it, rather than combining styling and presentation, you are trying to what here separate it so that understanding your web page content also becomes what easy, right? So that is the advantage of using which one CSS. And not only that, CSS is okay. CSS is a what do you call it as? It is the same for all the devices. All the devices means the look and feel doesn't changes when you move it from one device to what another, right? So it is cross platform. You can say CSS is what here cross platform means. Once you design the CSS or once you create a CSS styles, so that doesn't changes when you move it from one OS to another OS or from one device to what another device. So all these are advantages of using which one CSS. Now current version of CSS is okay. CSS what here 3. Current version of CSS is CSS 3, right? Yes. What is the CSS? Okay, CSS stands for what here? Cascading style sheets. It is which language? Styling language. Okay. And what you are doing it by using this, you are formatting the web page. Like formatting, including what here? Colors, layout, fonts, and all these things. Styles. Okay, makeup or styles, you can do it by using which one? CSS. Right? Then how to use a CSS? How to use the CSS or how to create styles within the web page? You can create the styles in web page in different ways. Okay. So before creating the styles, now what is the syntax of CSS? Now CSS is having the following syntax. Now first what you are writing is selector. Now we'll talk about what is a selector. There are different types of selectors there. Like there is a element selector, there is a ID selector, there is a class selector. We'll talk about that. So you try to define what name here, selector name, and then it is followed by curly brace. Okay. It is followed by one curly brace. So this indicates one block or not? Yes. So it is defined as one block. It is defined as one block. Now you can say this is the beginning of the block and this is what end of the block. And then within this block, you define the property name. You define what here? Property name and followed by which one? Value. Property name and then what? Value. Again, property name and value. And these are separated with what? Colon. So property name, which properties? See, every tag is having what? Properties. Every tag is having attributes, right? Okay, suppose if you take for example, if you have a paragraph is there. If I want to change a paragraph color, then I use a property called which one? Color. I use a property called which one? Color, right? So CSS, okay, CSS, by using CSS, you define which property of the element you want to change. Which property of the element you want to change. You want to change the alignment of the element, then you just define what property called alignment. If you want to change the border, if you want to apply the border, then you try to define the border style and other things. If you want to change the background color of the element, then you define the property for what? Background color. So property is nothing but an attribute. Or property define the state of which one? Element. State of the element. How to display that element? That is defined by using which one? Property. So every tag is having a property, and that property name and related value define it here, right? So selector and then followed by open curly brace and close curly brace, and this indicates what here? Block. And within this block, which property you want to change it, or which property you want to define it, you define it along with what name? Property name. Property name. So for example, suppose I have a different types of selectors. We'll try to we'll discuss about types of selectors. Okay, but just try to understand the syntax of CSS. So first followed by which one? Selector, and then followed by open, curly brace, and then close. And within that, you define the property name and value. Which property you want to change? Which property you want to change? You define that property name and corresponding value. For example, yes. For example, yes. Okay, suppose, so HTML. So here I'm just writing a header. Now there is one selector. So what is the selector I'm using is, this is called as element selector. This is called as which selector? Tag selector. This is called as element selector or what? Tag selector. Now which tag you want to, which element you want to format, or which element you want to style. Just give the name of the tag, which is called as a tag selector, or it is called as which selector? Element selector. Now which tag you want to, or which element you want to style? H1. Then what is the name of the selector? H1. What is the name of the selector? H1. And then followed by what? Curly brace. Now what do you want to define? Just define the property name. Okay, just to define what name here? Property name. Property name. So which property you want to define? Okay, which property you want to define? Just define the property. Suppose I want to define the property called which one? Color. Okay, suppose you want to define the property called which one? Font. Then font style or font. So how you define this? Is it these are called as a styles or not? Yes. Then how you create a style? By using one tag called which one? Style. These are nothing but which one here? Styles. And always you define the CSS style by using which tag? Style tag. So this is a style is a beginning, and this is what here? Ending. Now you are defining the style for which tag? H1. Just define property. So what is the name of this property? Color. I just define the color. Okay, suppose I want to define the background color. I just define the background color of which one? Which element here? H1 element. So whenever I'm using H1 element, so that H1 element, just write H1. I'll say, hello, this is what here? CSS. I said, hello, this is CSS, right? So what will happen if I run this? What will happen if I run this? Now you can see H1. Okay, H1 is which one here? Element. And for this element, you are defining what? Style. For H1 element, you are defining which one? Style. What is the style you define? Color. One more is which one? Background color, right? You can also define other things. What is font size? But anyway, H1 is own font size or not? Yes. Okay, now this is how you apply it. Now wherever I'm using H1, wherever I'm using H1, now this is, okay, CSS. Again, I said this is CSS. So wherever I'm using H1, okay, okay, will it apply the same style or not? Yes. Okay, suppose I want to change header color. Will you change every header? No. You just change in what? H1. Okay, I want to change the color from blue to some other color. I just write color. Just define the color in which you want to. Yes. Okay, now this is separated with a semicolon, right? Now you can see once I change the style, is it presentation get changed or not? Yes. So maintaining, now this is separating, right? So this is presenting and this is what here styling. Okay, these both are separated or not? Yes. These both are not combined. These both are what here separated. So maintaining or designing your web page becomes easy. Easy, right? So how you define the style? This is a syntax. What you are writing first, selector, then followed by curly brace. Okay, then you define the property name and corresponding value. This is an example what I said. Now, if you see the example, now this is different selectors will be there. One is the tag selector or element selector, and second one is the ID selector, and third one is a class selector, right? You have a different types of selectors. So here I just put this example, simple example to understand how to create a CSS style. And you are creating a style. How you are creating a style? You are creating a style by using which tag? By using which tag? Style tag. You are defining the style by using style, and it followed by selectors. It followed by which one? Selectors. So there are different types of selectors. We'll discuss that. But how to write a CSS is, you can include the CSS in your web page in different ways. You can include the CSS in your web page in different ways. Okay, how to include? How to? There are ways to include or write CSS in your HTML file or HTML page. One is called as a inline CSS. The first one is called as inline CSS. Second one is called as a internal CSS, and third one is called as a external CSS. There are three ways. There are three ways to write CSS in your HTML file. One is inline CSS, and second one is internal CSS, and third one is external CSS. But most of the applications will be using internal CSS, and one more is what? External CSS, because inline CSS is similar to old style only. Inline CSS is similar to what? Old style, where you apply the style to each and every element. Each and every element. So what is inline? Inline style, and least priority is given to which one? External style. Means if you are applying multiple styles, suppose one element you apply multiple styles, then first priority is always given to what? Inline only. Suppose even though if you are applying external, it will try to apply which style first? Inline style. Okay. Yes. Now inline. What is inline CSS is? Before CSS. Now before CSS. See before CSS. Before CSS, this was the only way to apply what? Styles. I say no. Before CSS, how the style is applied? Before CSS, how the styling is done? Now, this style, now CSS is not there. Then how this styling is done? You'll say H1 and you'll try to use which one? Color. You try to use which one? Color. Okay, color. You just use a color, or you'll just use a font, or see, this is how you apply it. Suppose if you want to do alignment, you just align equal to which one? Center. Okay, align Align equal to which one? Center. Now this is called as which styling here? Inline styling. Now before CSS, how the styling of element is done? Uh, by using one approach called which one? Inline. It means you try to format or style each and every element or each and every word tag. Each and every element or each and every tag. Each and every element or tag. Now this you call it as which style? Inline style. Yes. So this is inline. Right now you can see welcome to CSS, and this is what here? Inline, right? No, but that is a disadvantage. That is a disadvantage. And what is a disadvantage is there is no separation of presentation and what? Styling. To overcome this, to overcome this, to overcome this, to overcome this, you'll go for which one? Internal CSS. With the help of style tag, we can apply styles within the HTML file. With the help of style tag, we can apply the styles within the HTML file. Now, redundancy is what here? Removed. And second one is, but the idea of separation of constants still what? Lost, because, for example, internal CSS means it is applicable to only one document, or it is applicable to only one page. If you want to have the same style to the multiple pages, then still redundancy will be there or not? Yes. Because of that, you move to third approach. What is the third approach? External CSS. It means you put all these styles within one file. You put all this within one file. Same thing in programming languages, right? For example, you write one function in one program. Functions are reusable or not? Yes. Functions can be used within the same program, between the programs. Between means you create as one library. Yes or no? Now then use the content of one library inside what? Another. Here also you create one CSS file, and that you call it as which method? External CSS. It means you are putting all the styles within one file, and you save that file with the extension what? .css. Inline means only one tag. Internal means one web page. External means multiple web pages. Inline means only one tag. Styling only one tag. Internal CSS means you are creating a styles, and that styles can be applied to elements of what? Elements of which one? Current page. But you cannot apply that styles to another page. If you want to apply the same styles to what? Another page, you have to write again or not? Yes. That becomes what? Very complex. To avoid that, you put all these styles within one file. Which file it is? CSS file. And whenever you require that style, you just link. The way how you are importing libraries in programming language, in the same way you link which file? CSS file. So that it can be used either in one web page or more than one web page. Right? So redundancy is removed. But idea of separation is still lost. A unique applied on a single document. Only one document. Yes. How you create this internal style? You create an internal style by using which tag? Which tag? Style tag. Okay. You create a styles by using which tag? Style. This is the beginning of the style, and this is what? And now here you define which one you want to style the H3. Okay. Then just define H3 and define the color. So we'll see all the properties. We'll see. Okay, we'll see the all properties, but just try to understand how to create. But just try to understand how to create, right? Now there is one more element is there. What is it? paragraph, and then I say color. Yes. Now in the place of writing as an inline, in the place of writing it as an inline, I can just use which one here? H3. And I just use directly which one? Paragraph. Paragraph. So there is a reusability within the, within what? Page. Now you can see welcome to CSS. And this is not inline. This is what? Internal. This is a internal. Okay. What do you do in inline? You apply the style to each and every tag. What do you do in internal? You create a style, and styles can be used to, those styles can be used with all the elements in what? Web page, current page, but not in another page. If you want to use in another page, then you go for which one? External CSS. You go for external CSS. You can write this as an example. Yes, you are trying to use which tag here? Style tag. So style tag for defining. Yes. Next one is you have one more way of defining CSS, and what is that? Is external CSS. Okay, with the help of link tag, in the head section, we can apply styles to the referenced added what? URL. Okay, URL or file saved with the extension what here? .css. Extension with the .css. Now this will remove what here? Redundancy. Redundancy is removed. So the idea of separation is what? Still maintained. Okay, uniquely applied to each and every document. So in application development, you may go for external CSS, or you may go for what? Internal CSS. Now how to link external CSS? It means how you create external CSS. Okay, you create one file. What do you do? You create one file. So I'm creating one file, some s1.css. I just created one file, s1.css. And what is the name of the tag I'm using? Style. So there is a name of the tag. And what is the tag I'm using here? Style. Style. Can I use a style? Or just define the styles? Just define the styles. Just define the style. Now I want to define the style. What is the style? I just use. What is the name of this style? H1. Okay. So color. I just define the color of which one? H1. Then you want to define the paragraph. Select paragraph. And then define color of which one? Paragraph. Okay now? Yes. Now how many styles how many selectors I created here? Two. One is for H1 and one more is which one? Paragraph. After creating this CSS file, you include this CSS file. Okay, you include this CSS file into HTML. But how you include this CSS file in HTML? By using link tag. You have to use link tag in what? Head section. So within the header, you are trying to use which tag here? Link. So link, but what you're linking here? Style sheet. What is the relation here? Style sheet. Okay, it is a style sheet. Relation is a style sheet, and it is a type. Type of file is which file? Text file. CSS file is a text file, but what is the extension here? CSS. And then you have to define the location along with the resource. You have to define the location along with the resource, right? So href, URL you have to define. But is it relative to the current location or not? Yes. What is the name of this CSS? s1.css. So is it this file is linked or not? Yes. Then after that, I'm saying the body and then h1. So this is heading, this is heading 1, topic 1. And then I said here paragraph, Now this you can call it as which one? Paragraph, right? Yes. After this, you can see, oh, now you can see this is heading 1 and this you can call it as which one? Paragraph. But where this styling is done, in the same file or in another file? Another file. If I want to do changes, I do changes in which file? CSS file. I do changes in which file? CSS file, and that is applied. That is applied to your web page. Okay, now that is applied to your web page. Okay, yes, I just saved this CSS. Now is it applied to the web page or not? Yes. So maintaining your code becomes what here? Easy. Maintaining your code becomes easy, right? So first you create one CSS file. First you create one CSS file here. So this is one CSS I created. So what is the name of this is some s1 dot CSS, and in this I define the styles for 2 tags, and then you create one HTML file. Then you create one HTML file. So some test2 dot some HTML. Yes. So this CSS I used inside what? HTML. But if this CSS is there in some other location, suppose I created one folder here. What is the folder I created? CSS. So I just move it here. I just move this file into which folder? CSS folder, right? Yes, I just move into which folder? CSS folder. Then I have to give which path? Relative slash which one here? CSS. Slash CSS and s1 dot CSS, right? So you have to give along with the path. So you try to put all HTML files into one folder and CSS files into another folder. So I created one folder. What is the name of this here? CSS. And within this, I put one CSS file called which one? S1 dot CSS, right? Then next is, now this is CSS2 dot HTML. Now, how can you create? How can you create CSS? Now, how to apply the CSS? Okay, how to use the CSS? Okay, there are 3 types of CSS are there. There are 3 ways of writing which one? CSS. One is inline CSS, and second one is internal CSS. Third one is external CSS. What do you do in inline CSS? You apply the style to the individual elements or individual tags. In internal CSS, you create a styles within the same page. In external CSS, you create style in another file. So that you can call it as external CSS. But which one is mostly used in internal CSS, and one more is what? External CSS, but not inline. If you want to apply an individual style to each and every element, then you can go for which one? Inline, right? But main concern about this CSS is separating styling and what? Presentation, right? Yes. Then next, you have a different types of selectors. Okay, what is the syntax of creating a CSS style? The syntax of creating a CSS style is how you are creating it. Now this is a CSS syntax. What is this first here? Selector, and followed by curly brace. What is a selector here? So what is a selector is nothing but generally which one you style it? HTML element. Which one you style it? HTML element. HTML element or HTML tag. So tag is identified with the name. Tag is identified with what? Name. Tag name. Tag is identified with the name. That is called which name? Tag name. And tag is identified with what? ID. Tag is identified with what? ID. Okay. And tag is even identified with the class. So there are different types of selectors you have. One is, okay, element selector, and second one is ID selector, and third one is class selectors, and you have some more selectors also. We'll discuss that. But meanwhile, we'll talk about only three selectors. What is the first selector? Element selector. Element selector means you are trying to style a particular HTML element. For example, H1. H1 is an element or not? Yes. H2 is what? Element. P is what? Element. List is what? Element. Right? Now you want to style. You want to style which one? List. Then what is a selector? List selector. If you want to style H1, what is a selector? H1 selector, which is called element selector, ID selector, element selector. It's called as which selector? Element selector. So it means in element selector, for all these elements will apply the same style or not? Yes. Wherever I'm using H1 in my web page, it will apply the same style. But each element I want different styles. And you don't go for which selector? Element selector, but you go for which one? ID selector. Or you go for which selector? Class selector, but you don't go for which one? Element selector. Remember this, just here, otherwise. Selector, what is the syntax of CSS here? Selector, and then followed by properties, and followed by value. Properties, and followed by values. Right, CSS selectors, CSS selector is used to target elements and apply which one? CSS. Select which one? Styles. So there are three simpler selectors are there. One is a element selector, and second one is ID selector, and third one is a class selector. Priority, first is given to which one? ID. And second is given to which one? Class. Third one is given to element. Right? So these are different types of selectors. Right? Yes. Are you getting or not? Okay. Okay. Priority of selectors. That ID greater than class, greater than which one? Element. Right? So element selector is there. Use it to select HTML elements by its what? Name. So which tag you want to style it? You select that name of the tag or name of the element. Use it to select HTML elements. HTML elements by its name is nothing but by using which name? By using which name here? Tag name. Tag name. Element selector is formatting it with the help of which name? Tag name. Tag name. That you call it as element selector. So for example, till now what we have seen? Element selectors only, right? Okay. For example, yes, head is there. Within the head, what I'm doing is I'm trying to see element selector, ID selector, and class selectors. These are what? These are what? Internal or inline? Internal. Okay. These are used as a internal, but not as a inline, right? Inline means you directly apply the style to each and every element, right? So for example, if I am saying H1 is there, I just use H1. Okay. So H1, what is H1? Tag name or not? Yes. H1 is a tag name. H1 is a tag name. So this is the beginning of the style. So H1 is a tag name, or H1 is an element name or not? Yes. This is called as which selector? Element selector or tag selector. This is called as element selector or tag selector. Now next is, I said P. P is nothing but paragraph. So this is also one element or not? Yes. Okay, then I'm just writing here. What is the name of this? Table. So this is which selector here? Element selector. What is the name of the tag here? Table. What is the name of the tag here? Paragraph. What is the name of the tag here? Header. So what do you want to apply? So what you want to apply? Header. Suppose header background again. We'll see other things. Don't think that only colors I'm telling, but we'll see all the things. But first you should familiar with what? How to create CSS styles, how to create styles and how to use it, right? So I just use this is a background color applied to which one? Header one. Okay. And sorry, border I've taken. Okay. Now I just take border. Now this is the background color is taken for header one, or it is topic one, and this is some background color is taken for paragraph, and this is some background color is taken for which one? Table. Table background color and table. What is this here? Border color. Okay. I taken table border color and border. Okay. Border I define. So even I define the border. Okay. This is a border which you can define in different measurements are there here, right? Okay. So pixels you can define some. I'm just writing here some 3 pixels. Okay, we'll talk about this measurement also. Now see, table, background color, border color and border. Okay, and then background color of paragraph and header. Suppose already I've given header 1 as well as what? Paragraph. So this header 1, okay, this header 1 background color is this. And this paragraph background color is this, right? Now once I run this, now this is header background color and this is paragraph background color. Okay. Then what I'm doing is I'm creating what I'm creating here? Table. So is it table is already formatted or not? Yes. Okay, table. Then I'll say, so tr, and then I define what? Th. Okay, some roll number and th. Okay, one more is what here? Name. Okay, so this is a table and table title. Okay, yes. So just given this, okay, roll number is heading and name is also what here? Heading. But background color is defined or not? Yes. Border style. Border. Okay, border which one? Style. What is the border style? Is it doubled or dashed or what it is? Okay, these are different types of which one? Lines. Okay, so border is given or not? Yes. You can also define the left border style, right border style. Okay, all the things. But this is a table. But whenever I'm using in my page, wherever I'm using H1, wherever I'm using H1, will it apply the same style or different style? Same style. Wherever I'm using a paragraph, will it apply the same style or different style? Same style. Okay, same style. Paragraph. Okay, paragraph, right? Is it apply the same style or different style? Same style, right? So if you are trying to use element selector, if you are trying to use the element selector, use it to select HTML elements by its name or what is that? Tag name. Tag name. Selected the heading tag and then change the color property or text to what here? Red, right? So what will happen in element selector is this is, yes, the problem with the element selector is, yeah, tell me here, what is the problem with the element selector? Okay, same style is applied to, okay, all the tags are elements with what? Same what? Name, right? Same style is applied. See, same style is applied to all the elements, with what? Same name. It means wherever I'm using H1, is it applied the same style or different style? Same style only. Wherever I'm using a table, will it apply same style or different style? Same style only. Suppose in my web page, 2 tables are there. Each table I want one style. But is it this work or doesn't work? Doesn't work. Is it this work or doesn't work? Doesn't work, because this will apply the same style to both the tables or not? Yes. Then you go for which selector? Another selector. You go for another selector which is called as ID selector. Okay, you go for which selector? ID. So the ID attribute is used to select what here? HTML elements. Now use it to target the specified or unique, or use it to target the specified or unique element. You want to apply the style to the specified element, then you should not style it with what name? Element name. You should not style with what name? Element name, but you should style by identifying with one name, and that you call it as which one? ID. ID is user defined name or predefined name? User defined name. User defined name, and that name you apply to which one? Each element. Okay, each element. So this ID attribute is used to select HTML element. Use it to target specified or unique element. So what is the syntax? How you create an ID selector? ID selector is prefixed with what? Hash. ID selector is prefixed with the hash. If it is not prefixed with the hash, your parser think that as what? Element selector. So element selector doesn't have which one? Hash. So tag name, that is directly tag name. But here you are just creating one ID. But how you create the ID? By just prefixing with what? Hash. And then you define, open the curly brace, and then property. For example, yes, this is called as a ID selector. Yes. Now you need to write in. But see, this is internal or external? Internal, right? Internal styles, internal CSS. You can also write this CSS within one file. That is what you find. So many predefined CSS files are there. When you work with Bootstrap, it will provide so many predefined styles. You just import and use it. Just import and use it, right? So style, then hash. Okay, I just write here hash ID. ID means user defined name or predefined? User defined. Okay, just give the style one. What is the name of this ID? S1. S1 is the ID. What do you want to define? Color. Now this color is some color is there. Okay, this color is some red. S1 is a red. Then next is what here? S2. Now this is one more ID or not? Yes. So there are two IDs. Now this is S1 is one ID, and S2 is what here? Another ID. Okay. Then color. Okay. So color, I just define it as a blue, right? So after this, I just write here. So I write here body. Then after that, now suppose there is a paragraph. So this is a paragraph 1. This is a paragraph. This is a paragraph 1, and this is what here? Paragraph 2. Paragraph 1 and one more is a paragraph 2. Now each paragraph I want to apply one style. Then what do you do it? ID. ID. What is the name of the ID? S1. Okay, then ID. Then what is the name of the ID? S2. ID. Now this paragraph is identified what? S1. I said ID is used ID is used when you are working with which one? CSS, right? For styling it. Now you can see this is paragraph 1 and this is paragraph 2. In the same way, okay, in the same way, for example, I said H1 ID equal which one? Some S1. Okay, now this you can call it as topic 1. Okay, H2. Okay, I just write here ID and I try to give the ID as what? S2. And this you can call it as topic. This is a topic what here? 2. Now once you run this, now you can see paragraph 1, paragraph 2, topic 1 and topic 2 ID. So this is ID. Now is it color get changed or not? Yes. Right? Yes. This is called as which selector here? ID selector. So it means you are styling each, you are styling. See, generally, which one is identified? Element is identified with what? ID. Okay, element is identified with what? ID. You are styling which paragraph? The paragraph whose ID is what? S1. See, don't think that S1 is a style name. H1 is which name? ID name. ID name. It means this paragraph is identified with what? S1. This paragraph is identified with what? S2. So you are styling the paragraph whose name is what? S1 with the color of which one? Red. You are styling the paragraph whose ID is S2 with the color of which one? Blue. It means first will you write first you will write the styles or will you write the elements with the IDs and then you format or you style by creating which selectors? ID selectors. You format it by using which selectors? ID selectors. So why? That is your wish, right? First you can write IDs and then you apply to each and every, yes, HTML element, right? So this is called which selector? ID selector. Now there is one more selector, is there? There is one more selector, is there? Yes, is it up to this you understood? Okay, so how many ways you write CSS? 3 ways. What is that? Inline, internal, external. Okay, inline, internal and external. Inline is old or new? Old. Okay, tightly coupled or loosely coupled? Tightly coupled. Loosely coupled means separate. Yes or no? That is what you learn in where Java also, right? Loosely coupled code. Runtime, polymorphisms, interfaces. Yes or no? You are separating implementations from calling, right? That is how you achieve abstraction. That is how you achieve encapsulation with the help of interfaces, right? In Java, you achieve abstraction, encapsulation, as well as what? Polymorphism. Separating. See, generally, you find so many design patterns, right? For example, if you are talking about web application, like web application, most of the web applications uses one architectural pattern called which one? MVC, which is called as model, view and controller. Model, view, controller. So view is nothing but presentation. Okay, it means you are separating the business logic from what? Presentation logic. Why you are separating? Maintaining becomes what? Easy. If you are combining it, then if there is any changes in business logic, I need to do changes in what? Presentation. If you're separating it, then if there is a changes in business logic, you do changes only in which logic? Business logic, without doing any changes in what? Present. Here also same thing. Okay, every element is having a style. Every element is having what? Format. Why you want to combine this presentation as well as what? Formatting. Separate this and write in another file, another place, and that you call it as which one? CSS. So that designing your page becomes more easy. So there is one more selector. So selector is there. And what is that selector here? Class selector. Okay, class selector is there. When you're saying class, the class attribute use to select which one? HTML element. Now use it to target a specific class of the element. Specific class of the element, right? Specific class of the element. Class, when you're saying class, what class is having? Generally class, when you say class, so it is one group or not? Yes. Which contain, when you are saying it is a group, it contain subgroups or it contain elements, and that elements can be again can be one more selector or not? Yes. So in that case, you go for which one? Class selector. So the class attribute is used to select HTML element, use it to target a specific class of the element. So class, you can identify, see here, H1 class, it followed by class name, and this is prefixed with what here? Dot. Okay, this is prefixed with what here? Dot. Class selector is prefixed with what? Dot here. We selected the class and change the color property to the text. Now, whenever tag, we have to write. How you are writing it? You are just writing, what is this here? Dot. See, this is dot center. This is called which selector? Class selector. Class selector. Okay, class selector. And how you are using it? By saying class, paragraph class, and it followed by what name here? Class name. Okay, paragraph class, and it followed by what name? Class name. So this class name dot, what is the name of this? Centered. And text alignment is centered and color to what? Right. Now just see here. This example, right? So this is which selector? ID. This is which one? Class. Okay, right? Now once you run this, now this is what here? Heading. And this is aligned what here? Center. And this is paragraph, will be read and centered, align. This is also paragraph. Okay, this is also paragraph. What is saying? Center to text align. What you are saying? Center, color is red. Text align center, color is what here? Green. So paragraph class, what you are saying here? Center to. This is the class selector or not? Yes. Paragraph ID. And what is ID here? Center. Now this paragraph will be a pink and centered alignment, and this heading will be green and center alignment. So first, now last one is called as which selector? Element selector. And first one is called as which selector? ID selector. And second one is called as which selector? Class selector. This is ID, this is class, and this is what here? Element. Which is prefixed with the dot is called as a class selector. Which is prefixed with the hash is called as a ID selector. And if you are just giving the name of the element, so that you can call it as which selector? Element selector. Right? Now CSS is providing some styles. CSS is having its own styles. Style. This is what? Text alignment is what? Property, or it is called as a style. Center is called as a property, or it is called as what? Style. Right? So we'll see first. First we'll see like CSS. CSS what? Colors. Okay. Up to this, is it clear? Okay. How many types of selectors are there? 3 types. We'll see in detail on this again, because we have just learned what is the types of selectors, right? Now there is colors. CSS provide so many styles like CSS colors, CSS borders, CSS backgrounds, okay, CSS images, CSS tape layouts, right? So a lot of things are provided by which one? CSS, right? Because for styling, you required what? Some style name, name or property name along with what here? Values. Now, when you write in VS Code, see, when you write in VS Code, you are saying text align, and if you press colon, can you say text align? It's called as CSS style or not? Yes, it is provided by whom? CSS. It is provided by CSS, and this style you are applying to HTML element or not? Yes. Now you can see there are so many alignments. What is the alignment? Center, end, justify, left, right, start, inherit, initial, unset. Like this, there are so many styles are there or not? Yes. In the same way, suppose, okay, in the same way, if you are writing text alignment, if you are writing color, okay, if you are saying color, right? Now, can you see so many colors or not? Yes. All these are different types of colors provided by whom? CSS. Provided by CSS. Now, there is a style. Okay, what is a style? Suppose I just put this style as a red. Now, I just write a background. So, background. Okay, I just write here background. So background image. Now I want to have a background image. I just define image URL. I just define image what? URL. I just give the URL as some x dot. URL as some x dot. What is that? JPG. Now background image. Okay, background image. And you want this image to be like, suppose in the previous, in the first class, when we apply the background image, is it background image is repeating or not? Yes. I don't want the background image to be repeated. Then what do? You apply the style by saying background image, no repeat. Background image what? No repeat. You want to repeat horizontally. You want to repeat vertically. You want to repeat. So no repeat, horizontal, that is X repeat, Y repeat, as well as what? Repeat, and then no repeat. All these are what? Different values applied to which one? Background image. It means all these are the styles provided by whom? CSS. Okay, within this, first we are talking about CSS colors. When you are talking, already I said, there are different coloring schemas in CSS. There are widely used techniques are, what is the first one? RGB. You can use one function called which one? RGB. You can use directly corresponding color name, like you can apply directly red, green, and what is that? Blue. Or you can use one function to mix these three colors by using one function called which one? RGB. Or you can also represent in which format? Hexadecimal format. You can also represent in which format? Hexadecimal format, which consists of how many digits here? 6 digits. Okay. Now these 6 digits are having say 6. Basically, it is having how many here? 3 colors. That is gray, red, green, and what? Blue. Already we discussed this. Yes or no? You are saying hash FF00 and 0. This means color is what here? Red. You can also use RGBA. Now 4 parameters. RGB is having how many parameters? 3 parameters. RGB is having 3 inputs. RGBA is having 4 inputs. This is having 3 colors. One is red. Total how many colors will be there in red? 256. That is from 0 to 255. And this is also from 0 to 255. And this is also from 0 to 255. And you are taking one value from each color and creating one new color. But that you can use it. That you can do it by using a function called which one? RGB. Or you can also define hexadecimal. Or you can define directly with what name? Color name. There is RGBA. So this takes how many parameters? 4 parameters. So 3 parameters basically corresponds to 3 colors. That is red, green, blue. and last one is called as which one? Alpha. Okay, last one is called as alpha. Now value of first three parameters may varies from 0 to 255 because in each color you find how many, or in each color how many combinations you can find? 255 colors. But when it comes to the third parameter, that range from 0 to what here? 1. Alpha is nothing but, I think this is used for defining which one? Opacity. For example, RGB 255 is there. Now this represent which color it is? Red color. Okay, suppose, assume that. Okay, we'll just see this. So color is there. Now this is text color, right? So what I'm doing is RGB. I can give directly RGB function, right? Just use red. Now I just use red. And this is, can I give directly? What is the value? 250. Sorry. So 255, 0, comma, what is that? 0. So it is directly applied which color here? Red color. Okay. So this is, I remove this background image. I remove this background image, and this color will define with color RGB what? A. And this is also which color? Red. So 255, comma 0, comma 0, comma. Okay. This value should be ranged from 0 to 1. 0 to 1. I just give this opacity or alpha as 0.5. See here. 0.5. Is it color? See here. This is a color. Is a combination in which color? Red only. But this define which one? Opacity. Now suppose I said 0.1. I said 0.1. See this one. This is maximum, right? This is maximum. Okay, 0.1. I just given only 0. So it becomes what here? White. If I'm saying this as a 9, okay, this is 9. Sorry, 0.9. So this 0 to 0.9. So 0. I'm just writing here 6. Now this is 0.6. This is 0.7. Is it defining the opacity or not? Yes. 0.8. Is it completely red or not? Yes. You are moving. See, you are moving towards this side. Now from here, you are moving this side, right? See, this is actually, okay, this is actually now 0. This is called as opacity, right? Now this you can call it as maximum color. So this is here. Now you can see this is 255. And what is the opacity is given here? See here, 0.637. Now in that case, it takes one special color or not? Yes. In which one? Red only. But actually our color is which one? Red. So this you can call it as light or what is that? Dark. So that is defined by using what? Alpha. The same thing is called as opacity. Technical term is opacity, or it is called as which one? Alpha. So this paragraph, which one I've taken here? Centered. So yeah, this one. This paragraph will be centered, right? This paragraph will be red only, right? But red only, but some combination. Suppose if I'm not taking this, I've taken 0.8. 0.8. I just taken 0.9, right? So is it, this is given complete red or not? Yes, right? So this last one, which you can call it as which one? Opacity. I say 0.3. You combine it here, then you'll be knowing one color I've taken. Now this is 0.3. This is 0.3. And this is 0.4. You are increasing. What you are increasing? Color. 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. Now you'll be knowing more about this, right? Yes. This is 0.5 like that. Okay. Yes. Now last parameter is alpha. That will represent which one? Opacity, right? Then RGBA is there. Okay. RGBA is there. Now this is an example for implementing different colors here. So just now I said no, implementing different colors by using RGB as well as one more is which one? RGBA. Now this style is, yes, it's a title and there is a head here. Yes. Now you can see the color. I have taken the color in which one? Red, but alpha value is given as what? 0.5. Alpha value is given as a 0.5. Now once you run, this is heading. Oh, heading is green, huh? No. Heading is removed here. Okay, because I taken the first .css. It is there in my system. We'll take, we'll link which one? S1. So link okay, right? And then so type equal to some, so text HTML, and then I write here href. What is the file type? Slash CSS slash S1 dot S1 dot txt slash CSS, right? Because we are using heading, right? So in this, is it heading is, heading will take as what here? Green. Yes. Okay, right? Now once they run this, all right. So this heading will be green and this is a paragraph and this paragraph is in pink and centered alignment. See here, this color is red only, but within the red, the alpha is given how much here? 0.5. Actually, this is red only. This is actually red only, but alpha is given how much here? 0.5. So by using one function called RGBA, and this color can be given by using two functions. One is RGB and one more is what? RGBA. So this is how you apply the color. Yes. Yes. Now you can apply the color in different ways by using RGB function, or you can define in hexadecimal format, or you can also define it by using one more function. And what is the name of that function? RGBA, right? Yes, this is how you work with the color. The next one is working with what? Background. Working with the background. Background, what you can put background? Color as well as what? Image. You can put both color as well as what? Image. Now this file in my system, is file is CSS slash some S1 dot CSS. Okay, now next we'll talk about backgrounds. That is how to apply the background, how to style background color and background image. After background, we'll talk about borders. After borders, we'll talk about shadings and all the things, right? So that we'll develop complete web page, right? So we'll stop it here today, but we'll see you on Monday that, right?